Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. On this channel, we're huge fans of World of Warcraft PvP, and we have been hosting numerous 5v5 duels with this channel's community to find out which classes are looking the strongest, and which ones are looking to improve in the next update of patch 9.2. And while the next major content patch is in its testing phase, without the final tunings, it is impossible to guarantee which classes truly are gonna be the strongest. But from the testing so far, we have seen some of the underdogs improving for the upcoming build. And in this video, I want to highlight some of the specs that are looking to improve for PvP heading into the patch 9.2. But right before that though, most of you guys watching this videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you are reminded, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as hit the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you want to catch more regular 9.2 updates or potentially future WoW expansion announcements. Let's put some spotlight on the specs that are living in the shadows, starting off with the Fury Warrior. Their tier set is looking to improve their sustain damage by buffing the output as well as the charges of Raging Blow, with an extra chance of every Raging Blow possibly activating Recklessness for a short period. And as of this week's build, those random procs of Recklessness will be empowered if you run the talent of Reckless Abandon, which makes your damage and attacks a little bit meatier, primarily Bloodthirst as well as Raging Blow, which becomes Crushing Blow, which causes you to rush over to the target, hitting them for a much stronger version of a Raging Blow. If a Fury Warrior can stick on you for a long amount of time, then that consistent pressure and uptime can eventually become overpowering and overall pretty scary. And with Crushing Blow, there's no way you're going to be able to get this Fury Warrior off of your back. If the Fury Warrior is part of the Necrolord Covenant, when they brandish the banner, they become practically immune to slows, while bolstering all of their damage. And if they play the Kyrian Covenant, not only can they pin you to the ground so you have nowhere to go, but the Kyrian Spear will also bolster all of their critical output. Inside of Reckless Abandon, Fury Warriors are unstoppable, and getting random procs of that Reckless Abandon from their tier set can give them a lot more damage output that could make them potentially one of the deadliest sustained physical classes in the patch 9.2. The next spec on this list is the Demonology Warlock. With their tier sets, they're looking to get even better burst as well as sustain. Their 2Ps offering them extra demon doggos to summon during called Dreadstalkers. And even though the spec is very interruptible with so many abilities you have to cast, those casts are going to be even more rewarded with the extra demons that you summon thanks to your 4Ps tier set. Given Demonology double legendaries in patch 9.2 is definitely going to increase their demon bolt output. While the Succubus/Incubus isn't your primary pet, there is some interactability as a Demonology Warlock, and with the Succubus Seduce ability being more empowered to act more like a fear, so it doesn't immediately break to damage. If you're willing to play a playstyle where all the stars have to align, the potential for the most amount of PvP damage is really high. Together with the ability for a Warlock to solo cross-CC an entire enemy team, there could be some potential of massive unexpected damage lurking forward in the patch 9.2. Enhancement Shaman is another spec that's looking to get buffed up heading into the next build. Firstly, Enhancement Shaman plays in a lot of cleave compositions, so being able to spread flame shocks easily with Lava Lash is going to be helpful. The main resource of your survivability, and possibly your damage, Maelstrom is far easier to generate with their tier set letting you spawn more Ghost Wolves which generate Maelstrom over time. As Enhancement Shaman in PvP, you're going to need a lot of mana just to heal yourself from the damage that you take. It's a good thing that Blizzard decided to reduce the mana cost of many of your damaging abilities, which means more mana to keep yourself living. And also, Maelstrom got significantly buffed for the patch 9.2, with the main damage-oriented Maelstrom conduit getting beefed up to a whole nother degree. Over the past duels, we've seen Enhancement Shamans blasting out enemies with lightning bolts and elemental blasts as if they are straight up elemental shamans. And while this class is still fairly squishy, the damage that you output out of nowhere can be very surprising. Unholy Death Knight is another big hopeful spec on today's list. The recent patch 9.2 updates have improved the Festering Wound damage, which bolsters anything that functions off of Festering Wounds. So whether you're bursting with abilities like Apocalypse or trying to build up healing absorption on the enemy target, all that extra damage will hopefully result in more sustain. Death Coils could become a little bit burstier, especially if you run a Death Coil damage legendary. And your main goal is also gaining more sustained damage thanks to a buff to a conduit. Together with the Necrolord Covenant buffs, which likely is going to be your Covenant going forward into patch 9.2, the Legendary is going to allow the Abomination Limb to put a debuff on the target, making them take 20% more damage, which means your burst is now a little bit more deadly. Through their tier set, they also have a baked-in Execute. Normally, as Unholy Death Knight, you don't take Soul Reaper because the enemy is going to see it from a mile away. This is the one execute ability that isn't super consistent in PvP. But giving it for free to the Death Knight as part of their toolkit, together with the immense sustained pressure they can put up, it is possible to keep someone's health low enough to get a free proc of that execute. This can give them more stopping potential, but also every time you do land an execute, you frenzy your pets, which is going to give you even more burst pressure to continue rolling after your execute attempt. While none of these updates really fix the low survivability of Unholy Death Knight strictly against other melee classes, overwhelming damage can sometimes be good and can give him a little bit more stopping potential and finishing power in the patch 9.2. And the last spec of this list is going to be the Frost Mage. First of all, the tier set, which has a synergy with the talent of Comet Storm, where the proc of Comet Storm as well as the talent both provide invaluable damage increases during setups. As every class gets a double legendaries activated in patch 9.2, that means every class gets for free their Covenant specific Lego effect. And for mages, there's a lot of choices and a lot of options. Whether you want a short, burst-oriented gameplay of the Carrion, or maybe the long, rampy, overpowering damage that comes with a Necrolord, maybe potentially utility and crowd control from the Vent tier Covenant, or extra stats and more mobility with the Night Fae. Unless there's further changes or tuning to these Covenant legendaries, most classes have one, maybe two viable PvP choices, but for mages there's 4 equally strong choices depending on the gameplay that you want. And with a lot of good Covenant legendaries, Frost mages get some really strong, solid choices for double legendary combinations. And right now there are some combos where you have some really strong, guaranteed, deadly, simple setup burst. And that might be exactly what Frost mages need heading into the patch 9.2. Thank you all so much for checking out this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you think there's some sort of playstyle or a spec that should have belonged on this list that's looking like it's going to also see some huge gains out of patch 9.2, let me know in the comments below. I would love to test it out over on the PTR together with the dueling community. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you guys liked this video or found it informative, give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And in the description of every single video, there's always going to be a Discord link towards our community channel Discord. If you guys watch this videos on a regular or want to hit me up directly, DMs are always open. Join our Discord to become part of the community we have over on this channel. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, I'll see all of you in the next one.